Hey friends, let's make something cute. So I'm going to take this 3-inch piece of scrap wood and I'm painting it the crystal blue shade. And then this other piece of scrap is 5 inches and I'm painting it with Waverly plaster. I'm making a tiny home and I'm going to use this jumbo craft stick to make a roof. So I'm using my miter shears and I'm just cutting it off the length that I need it. And I need 2 of these pieces, because together they are going to be the shingles for my little roof. So then after I cut that, I decided I also need a door, and I'm going to use the same craft stick to make the door. And I just cut that down smaller. And after I finished with this part, I grabbed my sander and I sanded the edges smooth. I'm going to use Bare Dark Antique Wax, and I'm just going to rub that onto my roof and my door to use that as a stain. Now I'm going to place my stencil. I'm going to use the words "Bless Our Home" on this one and just stencil that on the front of my little 5-inch board. And then I'm going to use an eyeliner brush and I'm going to cross those tiny bridges. I think this looks really, really cute. So then I'm going to set that to the side and I'm going to glue my door onto the front of my tiny home. Then I'm going to use some Waverly plaster paint and paint on the windows. So after I'm done doing this part, I make sure that it's good and dry. And then I'm going to go back and use the little eyeliner brush again and just some black paint, and I'm going to paint in little window panes. Now on this part, you don't have to be perfect at all. It's really hard to get them to look perfect. So if they're a little wonky, that is okay. I did take some white paint and I tried to straighten mine up a little bit. Now I'm going to glue on the roof. My 3-inch board was cut at a 45-degree angle, so it made it easy to give the appearance of a roof. I drilled a hole in the roof and I put a little tack in the top. That's the chimney. Then I'm going to glue it down to the board. I'm going to use the picket fence from Hobby Lobby and cut a little piece off of that. So I just needed a small piece, and then I realized that it was going to be hard to get it to glue down because it was pretty thin. So I took a popsicle stick and I cut it apart, and I'm just gluing that onto the bottom of my fence to make it wider. This is to help me be able to glue it to my board. And I painted the bottom with Waverly plaster, so you're not even going to be able to tell that I added onto the fence. So now I'm just marking out spots where I want to make a little flower garden. So I'm drilling holes. The holes are so I can glue my florals right in to my board. So I'm gluing down my fence first, and then I'm taking a little bit of greenery and I'm going to cut this apart and I'm going to just fix greenery in there. And then I have a little pink floral and some red. I thought those looked like little roses in a way. And so I'm adding more greenery and just making this little area look nice and full. And then after I finish with that, I'm taking reindeer moss and I'm going to glue reindeer moss behind the flowers. And then I'm going to go all the way around and bring it back in front of my little flower garden. And this will just help fill in all the little blank empty spaces and make it look like there's nice little hedges and just landscaping around my tiny home. And I think it's just really cute. And I would love to hear your thoughts as well. Let me know what you think. I think it's adorable. Oh my gosh, I love making these. Thank you for watching.